Fandoms. Fandoms. Let's do this. What is a fandom? According to Webster's, it is the state or attitude of being a fan. And by God Almighty and the good Lord above, there are some people out there that take their dedication to an entire new level. They come in every shape, every size, every genre, just everything you could possibly imagine. Humans are passionate creatures, and we really like to express it to the world. But is it possible that fandoms do more harm than good? That this type of overzealous behavior is unhealthy for the mind, and is unwelcoming towards people who are on the outside, who just might be casual viewers? The answer isn't black or white, so let's explore this subject a little more. This is our Fandoms Bad. So, for those who don't know, I currently work as a barista at a coffee shop. Can you guess which one? A few weeks ago, I overheard two of my coworkers talking about League of Legends. I asked them what they thought about the community, and they said that the fandom is awful, and that it ruined the game for them in a lot of ways. This got me to thinking, are fandoms a bad thing? I asked this question to my coworkers, and one of them said, absolutely. He said the hardcore fans ruin the experience for everyone else by being so overbearing and extreme. That they take things too seriously and create an unwelcoming community for people who just want to be casual fans. That fandoms are ultimately toxic towards their content. He made some fair points, but I knew that there was more to this topic, and I wanted to explore every angle of it. So let's start this off with the most basic question of all. What is a fandom? As I said before, Webster's dictionary defines fandom as the state or attitude of being a fan. When I type in define fandom into Google, it says the state or condition of being a fan of someone or something. It also says the fans of a particular person, team, fictional series, etc. regarded collectively as a community or subculture. Already we can see some themes starting to align here. But is there a difference between being a fan and being in a fandom? I say, yes, there is. A casual fan is a person who watches a show or plays a video game or listens to a band, and that's about it. A fandom fan is a person who does all of those same things, but then looks for others to discuss and share about the subject as well. This forms a community, and I believe that is one of the two main factors that make up a fandom. The other thing is passion. Like I said, humans are passionate and expressive creatures, and we like to show it off to the world. We want to draw about what we like. We want to write about it. We want to dress up. We want to make videos. We want to create. That is one, if not the most important trait about being human, and people fully embrace it when it comes to fandoms. So when you combine passion with community, you get a fandom. A group of people who like to communicate with one another about what they like and express it in a variety of ways. There are probably some exceptions, but I feel that this can apply to many groups across the board, so I'm sticking with it. But how long have fandoms been around for? Is it a new phenomenon, or have they existed for centuries? In order to find this answer, we will have to dust off our history books. So when did fandoms become a thing? Well, I guess that depends on how liberal you want to be with your thinking. Oh, I'm part of the mammoth hunting fandom. Check out my fan art. Humans have always had pastimes and hobbies, but the first modern fandom was for the Sherlock Holmes books, and that dates all the way back to 1893. Fans of this series apparently held public demonstrations where they mourned the death of Holmes. Sorry, spoilers. There were even fan fictions. One of the first genres to gain popularity as a fandom, though, was science fiction. Back in the 1930s, people who were fans of fantasy and science fiction would meet up and have discussions about their shared interest. They even put together a convention that still runs to this very day. But the types of fandoms that we are familiar with today started to truly take form in the 1970s. That's when media, like Star Wars and Star Trek, started to gain a tremendous amount of popularity. People were becoming fans of individual shows and movies instead of just a genre. Personally, I believe that fandoms are a product of modern technology and culture. Prior to the 20th century, humans were disconnected. You would closely know the people in your village or town, but that was about it. But with the invention of the radio and the television, people started to become much more connected. We could all share in the same event being broadcasted to us and discuss our thoughts on the matter. Mass communication paved the way for media to grow and branch out into the fully grown tree that it is today. And when the internet arrived, woo! That's when things really took off. Now folks from all around the world could talk online at their own leisure and pace about any topic they desired. Modern media and communication proudly stand as two of the greatest accomplishments from the 20th century, and they show no sign of slowing down anytime soon. One topic I feel I need to address before answering our final question is this: are fandoms a geek thing only? The answer is no, absolutely not. I know I said Sherlock Holmes was the first modern fandom, but it was the world of sports that ushered in the first fandoms into existence, and they have grown insanely ever since. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer. You want to talk about fanatical behavior? These folks make the most diehard of geeks look moderate. From fantasy leagues to memorabilia to stadiums that can fit over 100,000 fans, people love their sports, and it has been ingrained into our culture as a social norm. That's why these levels of behavior are seen as normal. There is some irony though, when sports fans can judge others for dressing up as their favorite characters from a movie or a comic book, but then you see them don their war paint and look like this. Double standards much? Now, not every sports fan is this extreme. Not every geek is this extreme. But it goes to show what society deems as socially acceptable. Geek culture has made amazing progress, though, and continues to grow at a rapid pace. I mean, who knows? Maybe someday it'll be as popular as sports. We'll just have to wait and see what the future has in store. So it is time to answer the main question of this video. Are fandoms bad? Can these passionate communities go off the rails and do more harm than good? Like I mentioned before, my coworkers believe that League of Legends has an awful fandom. When I asked why, they said because they are overbearing, rude, and toxic towards new people. That the behavior of these die-hard fans create an unwelcoming environment towards casual players. I asked them if they thought that this was just specific to League of Legends. They said no, and stated that most fandoms are too extreme, that they are ultimately a disservice to the content they represent. There is some truth in their words. Some truth. There are instances of people in fandoms being awful to one another, and an example I want to use is Steven Universe. Yep, I'm going to talk about this, because it is so relevant to our topic. For those who don't know, Steven Universe is an animated show on Cartoon Network. I won't go into detail what the show is about, because it gets complicated. Just imagine rocks with emotions. Seriously, go check it out. It's good. Steven Universe has gained a lot of popularity, and one website that is in love with it is Tumblr. Now, Tumblr leans to the left when it comes to political ideologies, and Steven Universe is quite the progressive show. It was only a matter of time for the two to go hand in hand with one another. As we all know, the internet is a place where people can voice their thoughts and opinions, no matter what they might be. Sometimes, it isn't pretty. Not too long ago, an artist posted a drawing of some characters from Steven Universe. One character, by the name of Rose Quartz, was drawn thin. In the show, she's a big and beautiful woman, or rock thing. Go watch the show! But this drawing upset some fans, and they lashed out. They said that this artist should never draw Rose as thin, since she's supposed to be big. I don't know how many people said this to the artist, but it was enough for her to attempt suicide. Fortunately, she is fine now, and getting the help that she needs, but she was pushed to the edge. The show staff even weighed in on the situation, and said, fan artists can create whatever art they want, and everyone has the freedom to criticize it for any reason. However, bullying is not criticism. For the record, the question we are trying to answer here is, are fandoms bad? Not, is Tumblr bad, or is Safe Space bad? I wouldn't mind addressing these topics in the future, but let's stay focused. So, in a nutshell, some angry fans of Steven Universe told this artist that her art was bad and that she should feel bad. Now, does this make the entire Steven Universe fandom awful? No, it doesn't. What happened was terrible. But this was just one case in one fandom, and the actions of a few shouldn't label everyone else. One bad run-in or an impression from a fandom can make a person think, oh man, this fandom sucks. When in reality, most people in it are chill. It just so happened that you had a bad experience, and everyone else shouldn't have to pay for it. Yeah, there are some fandoms out there that might be harsher than others, but people need to remember why folks most likely join these communities to begin with. To have fun. There is a lot of good that can happen from these groups. People can come together to create their own content and share it with their community. They can hone their skills and practice their talents. They have a platform to share their work with others. And best of all, you might make some real friendships along the way. Negativity can cloud a person's vision and blind them from all the good there is in people. But if you can see through it, you can truly enjoy yourself and have a fun time. So in conclusion, are fandoms bad? The answer is no. To be honest, this is such a big and stupid question, and it has a pretty obvious answer, but it's still worth addressing. It's easy for people to make sweeping generalizations. All Star Wars fans are obnoxious. All football fans are too extreme. All Disney fans are annoying. Once again, people are basing their opinions on a vocal minority. They don't get to hear from the majority because, well, they're probably quiet. They do a good job hiding their passion and know that there's a time and a place. When it comes to people in general, most are kind and nice, or at least in my experience. I mean, yeah, they might be different in some ways, but that's where tolerance comes in. If they aren't hurting you, then live and let live. I might seem ignorant and optimistic with my views, but I stand by them, and I believe the same mentalities can apply to fandoms. Ultimately, don't let a few negative people warp your view on an entire group. Take your time to get to know individuals and judge them according to their own actions and not the actions of others. And so, that's all I got to say about that. I probably missed some important points, and people will disagree with me, but, hey, that's how we learn, and I want to hear what you all have to say. Heck, I just appreciate you all watching this to begin with. As always, thank you for your viewership. I'll see you guys next time.